Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and all the bearded ladies. Today on this channel, we're going to make a Dungeons & Dragons character for 5th edition. Are you ready? Fasten your seatbelts and gird your loins, because we're about to make a muscle mage! Now that we've chosen our stats and where we're going to put them on our character sheet, it's time to choose our character's lineage. And for this, I suggest we're going to go with something that's going to add strength and constitution to our character build. Goliath, dwarf, orcs, half-orcs, lineages of that sort, which are going to add bonuses to our strength and maybe constitution. I think those are going to be our best bet for our character. Keep in mind, we're not making the brightest and smartest wizard at the academy. We're making the wizard that also is on the varsity wrestling team. And for that, I think we should choose a mountain dwarf. Let's go ahead and summon the player handbook and help us with this task. Oh, book! Today, we're making a character that I like to name Delmarr Bloomingbeard. And for that, he is a mountain dwarf. We're going to choose dwarf because that's going to give us a bonus to our constitution. And then we're choosing mountain dwarf because they are proficient in medium armor and they can carry a battle axe, which is perfect for a character. When this character is swinging a battle axe, he'll do a little bit more damage than firebolt. He won't have as good a chance of hitting. It's kind of like a little bit of a trade-off on the build, which is going to help us be an intelligent wizard, also hardy and strong. And when we cast rope trick, if that DM that we're playing with has us make an athletics check, we're going to scurry up there just as quickly as a fighter or the barbarian or the paladin in the group. Now, as we continue forward with this character build video, I just want to specify we are going to make straight up wizard. As far as we can go, if we can make it to 20 levels, let's do it. There are builds out there on the interwebs where a player will take a barbarian who maybe has a really low intelligence and they just think they're a wizard. There are also character builds where the player decides that they're going to multi-class. So someone is a fighter up to 5th level and then they take some wizard or vice versa. And then there are also the Gish builds where you can take 2 classes at the same time. This is not that build. We are going to go strictly all wizard. This is going to be a legit muscle mage. Dwarves also get dark vision out to 60 feet. If you're new to D&D, dark vision is pretty much a must-have. And if you don't make a character with a lineage with dark vision, you can attain it through other means as you rise in levels. Delmarr is going to have Dwarven resilience, which will give our character advantage on saving throws against poison, and Delmarr will also have resistance against poison damage. That means anytime he takes poison damage, he only takes half of that. Once we've added our lineage modifier for being a mountain dwarf, you can see our strength is going to increase to 14, and our constitution is now going to be a 16. This is going to ensure that our character is going to be a rough and tumble, strong, hardy wizard who, when they cast rope trick, and let's say you get that DM that wants to make you roll an athletics check, he'll be likely to scurry on up there no problem, just as easily as, say, the fighter or the barbarian or some of the other stronger martial classes. The Dwarven lineage will also give our character the Dwarven combat training, so Delmarr Bloomingbeard is going to be proficient with the battle axe, hand axe, light hammer, and warhammer, which wizards, they can't use any of that. Delmarr will also gain proficiency with artisan tools of our choice. We could choose blacksmith tools, we could choose brewer's tools, or we can choose mason's tools. So I've already made up a little background for Delmarr, and his clan ferments beverages, and they're also mushroom and fungus farmers underneath the ground, dwarf stuff. So I thought, this would be really cool for the fermentation celebration. I don't really think he gets to use it. I mean, he really hasn't used it ever, but in the times I've played him. But it's still nice just for a little backstory. And maybe eventually it'll change, and I'll jump him into a one-shot or a campaign or something where he actually brews something. Another cool thing about the Dwarven lineage is that they have what's called stone cunning, which means all dwarves are actually proficient in history-related checks to the origin of stonework. And they actually get to double their proficiency modifier on this check, which is basically means they have expertise in stone cutting. There are also a couple of sub-lineages you can choose from with the dwarf, and like a hill dwarf or a dwargar or mountain dwarf or whatnot. And for this character, we're going to go with mountain dwarf because it's going to give our character a +2 to the strength, and Delmarr will also have proficiency with light and medium armor, which is also something that wizards traditionally do not have proficiency with. This is going to give Delmarr a boost to his armor class, which is going to help him survive the next encounter. Delmarr is also going to have a pretty nice dex by the time he gets to 4th level. Nothing great, but it's pretty decent, and that will also add to our armor class. Hopefully by 4th level, we'll be able to afford some breastplate armor, or maybe even some magical breastplate armor. All right, so next up, we're going to choose Delmarr's background. Now, I've done this character build in a couple ways, and I've played him a couple different ways, and the background is all going to depend on your style of campaign. The first build I did with Delmarr, his background was sage, so that way he could be a historian and a researcher sort of character. But I found the way I played him, it makes more sense if he has a background that gives him athletics. So for this build, I chose Outlander, which is going to give our character athletics and survival and the ability to find food for himself and friends when he is out in the wilderness. Some alternate options you could go with would be sailor, soldier, or any other background that you can find in a Wizards of the Coast book that's going to give you athletics. And if we look at our hit points, our muscle mage is going to start with a whopping 9 hit points. What we need to do now is survive to level 2. So once your character gets to level 2, we get to choose an arcane tradition, which means our wizard gets to specialize in a particular school of magic. At level 2 for Delmarr, we are going to choose divination for his arcane tradition, school of magic. Why? Because we're making a fortune-telling dwarf wizard who comes from a fortune-telling clan who also enjoys fungus farming and fermentation celebrations. The counsel of a diviner is sought by royalty and commoners alike, for all seek a clearer understanding of the past, present, and future. As a diviner, you strive to part the veils of space, time, and consciousness so that you can see clearly. You work to master spells of discernment, remote viewing, supernatural knowledge, and foresight. What does this all mean? So starting at the 2nd level, when you choose this school, glimpses of the future begin to press in on your awareness. When you finish a long rest, roll 2 d20s and record the numbers rolled. You can replace any attack roll, saving throw, or ability check made by you or a creature that you can see with one of these foretelling rolls. So by being able to portent and tell the future and alter the probability dice and such, Delmarr spells are more likely to go off and succeed. So basically what this means is you get to replace a d20 roll whenever you so choose. Awesome. And this will assist our character in performing his duty as a utility wizard, because our wizard has a very low DC compared to, say, a high elf wizard. So by focusing in divination, we are going to guarantee that our spells are going to work. All right, so let's pick some spells. And there are a couple ways you can go with this. You can go on brand and choose spells like Big B's Hand, Mage Hand, Shocking Grasp, Burning Hands, Chill Touch. Spells of that caliber will go along with I'm a muscle mage sort of concept. Or what I like to do is I like to play Delmarr as a utility wizard. Utility wizard style is not the damage dealer. This is the wizard that's going to fix that problem or solve some kind of issue or basically save the party when it seems like all that kind of hope is lost. And as that utility wizard, I usually pick spells like Levitate, Locate Object, Leomund's Tiny Hut, Rope Trick, and then to guarantee this character's survival, I also pick spells like Absorb Elements, Shield, Long Strider, and one of my favorites is from the original set a D&D that I started playing, Prestidigitation. That's a very utilitarian spell, and I've actually used it many times with Delmarr to put out fires. Prestidigitation is very useful when your fellow teammates catch fire from the opponents, and it's also very useful when you are in a building and that catches on fire and you and your teammates don't want to burn down. I also enjoy spells like Levitate, Locate Object, Long Strider, Featherfall. Those are the spells that help your character stay alive and make it to the next encounter. The scope of this video isn't to go through Delmarr Bloomingbeard's spell list. I believe each player should cater their wizard to their desired needs for both their campaign and their playstyle. What works for me may not work for you. I just wanted to take the time to make a video for a legit 150% muscle mage, which brings us to level 4. At level 4, Delmarr Bloomingbeard gets either an ability score increase or a feat. And for this character, I'm going to choose ability score increase. We're going to increase our dexterity by 1 and our intelligence by 1. This is going to do a double whammy to our character and give our armor class a boost as well as our character's spell save DC. This is going to make Delmarr a little bit of a more formidable opponent, both in combat as well as when he's casting his spells. Hopefully by level 4, your character will have enough coinage to buy some thicker armor. Something like a breastplate or a chain shirt would work. I also recommend saving up your coins for some magic items to complement your character and the concept of the muscle mage. I recommend Gauntlets of Ogre Power, which are an uncommon magic item requiring attunement. These will boost your character's strength to 19, which is amazing. Once you get a little more coins, save up and purchase the Belt of Giant Strength. This will boost your strength anywhere up from 21 to 29. Rarities will vary from rare, very rare, and legendary. I hope you've enjoyed this build. I'm not really going to go into the scope of a divination wizard or anything further. I would just wanted to put this character out there, and I hope you enjoy playing him. He's been a lot of fun. And for the next feat, I would suggest maybe taking Warcaster or something that fits your campaign. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Have a great one.